frosted, breath,
Cut that out!
testosterone.
Don't send me things to click!
You can talk football, baseball, and eating beef, team parties and bringing up children. You can talk city streets, deadbeats, and the way things probably ain't never gonna be. Talk politics, just leave his mama out of this.
What's the matter with you people?
Talk politics, just leave his mama out of this.
Making songs about my mama? Leave my mama out of this now!
Complain, complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain. You complain about the things I cook. You complain about the way I look. You complain about the clothes I wear. And you don't like my hair. You complain because I don't work. You say I'm a no-good jerk. And then I go to work. And you go berserk. Complain, complain, complain. You're always the same. You will never change. All you do is complain.
Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. I will return.
Message deleted. Press.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
And we're seeing major congestion in Mobile, and that is due to the closure of the eastbound Causeway ramp to I-10. That is because of flooding in the area. Also, reports of a tree down in the roadway on Old Shell Road at Cosgrove Drive. And also consider the I-65 Delta Bridge as an alternate route between Mobile and Baldwin County.
This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk podcast.
I'm Buzz Knight, the host of the Taking a Walk podcast, and join me for an upcoming episode with Amy Grant talking her remarkable journey. That's Amy Grant coming up on the Taking a Walk podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now, your chance to win $2,500. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Birthday. That's birthday. Enter it now at newsradio710.com. The Uncle Henry Show. Weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Hi, Henry. I didn't hear your show. I was preoccupied, but...
Message deleted.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, the center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress you see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate you listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I really do. Once again, here we are together. Just the two of us here, me and you, trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us? Right now, lots of traffic tie-ups there with the Bayway Causeway situation. As we have had a day of weather. Yes, I used to know an elderly lady once that anytime there was some type of a weather event, she'd say, looks like we're getting some weather. Looks like we're getting some weather around here. Well, yes, we've had some weather around here, have we not? There have been a lot of days where we've had actual hurricanes and tropical storms that have not had as much rain as we got today. This was quite a day. At least it was. I don't know what it was like where you were, but I'm here working in the city of Mobile. And what a day with the rain. And many people have complained throughout the years, throughout the decades, about Mobile drivers making the claim that Mobile drivers just don't know how to drive in the rain. And that may be true. That may be provably true. I just want to let you know that I had to be out in it today, to and fro, driving around in the streets of the city of Mobile. And I have to admit, I encountered some pretty good drivers. Yes, I did not encounter lunatic drivers today. And it may have just been the Lord looking out after me. Maybe a guardian angel was around me, guiding the morons away from me. I don't know what it was. I don't know if today there was a lot of dumb people decided to stay home. I don't know what it was. But out on the roads, I just encountered some good drivers out there. So if you were out there driving also, I'm not wearing a hat, but if I were, I would take it off to you briefly. Hats off to you for your driving today. Thank you for not driving like a moron in front of me or around me. And I was in some what I considered challenging driving situations. Like when you come up to traffic lights, a four-way traffic light intersection, and all the traffic lights are out. Now, nowadays, knowing how people are less educated than ever before, and we also have people driving around in our country from other lands that may not even understand our traffic laws. I was impressed that people were not killing each other in these intersections. So thank you to the Mobile drivers today, at least the ones that I encountered. Thank you very, very much. You did it. I think you did a good. I'm giving you a pat on the dadgum back for a job well done. But that's my experience. You, the listener, you may have been held captive by lunatics just driving all around you acting like fools. If that's the case, I'm going to put you in my prayers tonight. Telephone lines are open. If there's something you want to talk about on the Uncle Henry Show, if there's something you think I need to know or just something you want everybody to know, 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. There's some I want to, and I've got a lot of things to get to. I've got some fine voicemails to listen to and respond to, and who knows what else. But this week, we had the America's Distinguished Young Women arrive in Mobile. Now, all of the attention went to the naming of the Mobile hockey team, getting the name of the Mobile Mystics back. That got a lot of attention this week. But the same night that they announced the name of the Mystics for the Mobile Mystics hockey team, that same night, America's Distinguished Young Women from all 50 states came to Mobile, and there was a welcoming ceremony. And I've just noticed, this is the 69th year, not that much media coverage. In fact, one of the TV stations just had a still photograph. They didn't send anybody out there with a camera. They just had a still photograph from the people at the airport. Now, media, come on now. This is a grand tradition in Mobile, America's young women. You should have been out there with a camera. You should have had at least some video you could talk over instead of just a still photograph. This is still a wonderful tradition in our town that has impact around the country because these are wonderful. They're distinguished. They are. They made better grades than you did in school. That's why they're here. They're distinguished. They come here. They learn about Mobile by spending time here and going through the process of the America's Distinguished Young Women competition. And then they go back to where they came from and they tell of Mobile. We want to make a good impression on these young women. So when they go, this is important. They go back to their state, whatever lousy state it is, and they tell them, you know what? They're really nice down there in Mobile. They're really nice down there. It rains a lot down there, so we need to give them good coverage. And Mobilian, please, they're here through next week. Please be on your best behavior. Continue to drive nicely. Please don't flip each other off in traffic. If you could just restrain your middle finger this week, that would be good. And if there's somebody, if you're thinking about getting into some type of domestic dispute or something, put it off and forget. Just put it off for a while. Gonna make a good impression.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Watch for an accident southbound on I-65 just before Moffett Road. Also, a signal is out Schillinger Road at Ziegler Boulevard, and also at Schillinger and Old Shell Road. A tree is down in the roadway. Knollwood Drive near Briarfield Lane. Also, power lines are down, and there's water over the roadway, Dauphin Street near Mobile Street. And the eastbound causeway remains closed at I-10 due to coastal flooding.
This report is...
There's something strangely satisfying about listening to a traffic report like that and not being in a vehicle driving in it. It is. Now, if I were out driving in it, might cause some consternation. But there's something strangely satisfying about hearing the traffic report of all these traffic issues and me not actually being in a vehicle. I like that. All right, let me see. I don't know if anybody would be looking on YouTube when there's so many more exciting things to look at, like weather radar. But let me activate the desktop YouTube and take a look, see if there's anybody looking. And yeah, there's a small number of people looking. How about that? Ben Griffin, yes, a roof. Let's count our blessings. You've got a roof over your head. There's a big blessing that, along with your vision, your hearing, your ambulatory, you've got a lot. In fact, the more I think about you, Ben, you got a lot of blessings. Count them. 69-year-old Chris of West Loxley. Thank you about the Montgomery update. Bama Big Man. Sharon of Fairhope. Chuck, bringing stability to the chat, which is good. Love Freak 69. How about that? Who else? Excalibur One Force. Larry Morting. KP of shirtbutter.com. Let's see. Something I was going to tell you, and I have no memory of it. It was something I saw in the chat. All right, well, never mind. It's an exciting Thursday. The rain where I am is down to a drizzle. And about 3 o'clock, it was sideways. People were going through the building taking pictures of the leaks in our building. We just signed a new lease, and there's so many leaks. We are renters here in this building, and we signed a new lease, and the leaks, everybody's taking pictures because one of our, well, I guess I shouldn't talk about the internal stuff in case one of my bosses sees this accidentally. They wouldn't actually seek it out. It'd be by accident. But anyway, we've been taking pictures of leaks. We're just glad we're still on the air. We had some of our Mississippi stations go off the air today because they were even more inundated through the day. And I'm going back on the radio momentarily.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes from Fox News and from Lenise Lagon of Fox 10. Right now, it's me and you. 251-479-2723. Telephone number, 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Got a lot of junk to talk about. In fact, I've got a voicemail. Let me start with this because it's about a news item. I know you've probably seen pictures of the very unusual President Obama Presidential Library up in Chicago. It's caught a lot of people's attention. I cannot describe it to you because I don't know how I would describe it. It's an odd looking building. You have to wonder what am I missing aesthetically. I'm not an expert on aesthetics. You can tell whenever you meet me just by looking at me. But I'm not an expert in art or architecture or anything like that. But the Obama Presidential Library, I saw one, there's some famous person, I can't remember who it is, said it looked like a Klingon prison. If the Klingons had a prison, it looked like a Klingon prison. It's just, for many people, it's considered an odd design, the building itself. Anyway, they had some kind of a ceremony about it, and I got a voicemail about the President Obama Library. Let's listen together.
Hey, Henry, I'm looking at CNN and MNBC, and they got on the Obama Library celebration. About 1,500 people is there on the lawn, and you got Bruce Springsteen, Stevie Wonder, and a couple of more acts. It ain't like your president with the village people, YMCA. It ain't like that.
I understand that. Now, I've not been a big fan of the Village People through the years. I did enjoy their presentation of dressing up as different professions, different masculine professions. I did enjoy that. I haven't always been a big fan of their music, but I would rather hear the Village People than Bruce Springsteen. Now, but I loved Stevie Wonder, one of the most popular, at least in my personal opinion, one of the most talented of the Motown musicians and American musicians. But I could leave Springsteen forever.
But, man, you ought to see all them people out there, man, want to see the president, Barack Obama, public library. I got 2 of my classmates. They got on the bus in Montgomery. They up there, too, right now. Man, I wish I could have went. Damn, I wish I could have went. Bye, Henry.
All right, bye. Well, look, I'm glad you enjoyed being able to see it on CNN and all that. Let's see. I've got a little bit of Barack Obama speaking. Let's see. While he was speaking at the opening ceremony, according to Fox, former President Obama mourned how the U.S. has allegedly pulled away from the values that he loves in the years after his presidency.
We open the door to the most ruthless or the most careless or the most fearful among us, who see some groups and some people as more equal than others, and see government as nothing more than a way to divvy up the spoils and punish enemies.
All right. Well, the whole punishing of enemies thing, we could spend a lot of time outlining the Biden administration going after people. We could go back even further and look at the Internal Revenue Service going after Republicans and things like that. There's a lot of the whole punishing of enemies things. The Democrats might want to tone that down a little bit, that kind of rhetoric, because there's plenty of examples. But it's again, I don't understand the aesthetic. I'm glad Al feels good about it, and every president gets his own library after his presidency. But I still don't understand the design of the building itself. It reminds me of when Mobile unveiled Government Plaza. Now, you may be used to Government Plaza now. You might even like Government Plaza. But when Government Plaza was originally built, numerous Mobilians were highly critical of the weird design of Government Plaza. It didn't fit. Didn't fit in any way, shape, or form to the historic nature of downtown Mobile. The only people I couldn't meet anybody at the time that thought it looked good. It was a head scratcher, just like the Obama Presidential Library is design-wise is a head scratcher. So was Government Plaza. The only people that I remember that said they liked the way it looked back then when it was constructed were friends of. I was working for Bernie Dittman back in the day, and I think his wife had some friends in from France. Now, they liked it. But I couldn't find any Mobilians that liked it. But anyway, President Obama mourning modern politics. Well, don't worry about it. If you just wait long enough, just a few months, things will be different. They always are in the United States of America. We've watched the pendulum swing this way and that way over the past several decades. Let's just pray that the pendulum doesn't swing as far as it could. If we could get whatever that political pendulum is to swing just little, just not go as far each time it swings, That would be a little that would help out, I think, if we could just have it swing a little less far the next time it goes into the hands of one political party over another. That would be my wish. All right, let's see. I've got to go into a news break. We have news headlines coming up. As I mentioned, we got Fox News headlines. We've got Fox 10's Lenice Lagan doing headlines for us this evening. And then more Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. By the way, if you, the listener, if you were excited about celebrating Juneteenth tomorrow in Mardi Gras Park in downtown Mobile, that has been moved indoors. Because of the weather, the city has moved the Juneteenth celebration into the James Seals Community Center.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Watch for an accident southbound on I-65 just before Moffett Road. Also, a signal is out Schillinger Road at Ziegler Boulevard, and also at Schillinger and Old Shell Road. A tree is down in the roadway. Knollwood Drive near Briarfield Lane. Also, power lines are down and there's water over the roadway, Dauphin Street near Mobile Street. And the eastbound causeway remains closed at I-10 due to coastal flooding.
This report is sponsored by The Rogue Recap with Linda McLaughlin.
Hey, if you're looking for news you can't get anywhere else, then you're a lot like me. I started The Rogue Recap because I wanted to talk about things I just wasn't hearing. So join me on my podcast, Rogue Recap with Linda McLaughlin, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Can't wait to see you there.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Hi there, I'm Lenice Lagan, Fox 10 News anchor with your update. Mobile County DA Keith Blackwood says a nearly 30-year-old cold case has come to a close. Andre Landrum has been sentenced to life in prison for first-degree rape and first-degree burglary, plus 30 years for second-degree rape. Prosecutors say he broke into a home in 1997 and assaulted a 15-year-old girl. With modern DNA connecting him to the crime, Landrum's attorney says he plans to appeal. With storms like what we're seeing today, it's a good reminder we're in hurricane season through November. The United Way of Southwest Alabama is teaming up with Verizon for a disaster preparedness workshop along the Gulf Coast. The president says even with a single heavy rain, it can overwhelm the sewer systems and cause dangerous standing water. 4 workshops are being planned for this summer, starting July 14th in Tillman's Corner. We've posted all the dates for you and the locations on fox10tv.com. Lastly, a Pritchard police officer accused of using his badge to protect guilty people and frame the innocent has admitted to key allegations according to FBI testimony. A federal agent told the court Emmanuel Dodge II admitted extorting people, taking bribes, and helping set up an Atlanta lawyer with planted drugs. Prosecutors say Dodge has spent years operating as a criminal with a gun and a badge. The defense disputes part of his history, but admits there's enough evidence to send the case to a grand jury, possibly next week. Lenice Lagan, Fox 10 News.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer speaking on the Senate floor today, criticizing President Trump and his agreement with Iran.
Everyone who bought Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, ought to ask him for a refund, because what Trump has done in Iran is the art of the disaster.
This deal paves the way for 2 months of discussions on Iran's nuclear program and reopens the Strait of Hormuz to ship traffic. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is taking issue. He says his nation's troops will not withdraw from southern Lebanon, adding a security zone needs to be maintained to make sure the safety of communities in Israel from terror groups. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy on Fox says,
nobody's been a bigger Iranian hawk than me, but I think we ought to give peace a chance.
As far as this agreement is concerned, Iran wants Israel to stop attacking Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon. Vice President J.D. Vance will attend a formal signing ceremony on Friday. America's listening to Fox News.
And is here from Mobile. YouTube viewers, let me see if YouTube viewers are still there. I hope you are. I went upstairs to get a soft drink, and I walked into it's 5:30, and there's a bunch of people up there working that I don't know who they are. And one of my bosses was up there and says, Uncle Henry, how about instead of that soft drink, how about some bourbon? And I said, I can't have that. I'm on the air. And he says, well, then how about some beer? And I said, I can't have that. I'm on the air. I don't know what to think. That's going on at my workplace. Being offered bourbon and beer by someone that does have authority over me. Very unusual. Pat Nelly, I like my bosses too. I really do. But I can't do that and also host the show at the same time. It can't be done. 69-year-old Christy, you're right. I could be framed. Richard Harvey, hello to you. Oh, by the way, Chuck, this Chuck Schumer audio, I don't know why, but I enjoy him complaining. He's got a great complaining voice. I wish I could send him scripts and let him read complaints about things I want to complain about. He's such a complainer.
Australia.
The world is listening. Are you? This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
It says the Uncle Henry Show. Telephone number is 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Let's see, I've got some voicemail messages. Let me get to one or two. This one, this is quite a surprise getting this message.
Henry, this here's Henry, just want to let you know that Buford Jr. has been a good ambassador for the Uncle Henry Show. Told all his friends about it. And, Henry, you have a growing demographic in the 14-year-old boy demographic. I don't know if that's good or bad for you, but as far as I look at it, a listener's a listener. But anyway, Henry, you are becoming very popular amongst the middle school and high schooler age demographic in the male category. Anyway, Henry, I figured you'd get a kick out of that. You have a good day.
Buford, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for telling me that, and thank you to Buford Jr. for letting the young men know about the Uncle Henry Show. I appreciate that. It kind of takes me back to my roots, because back when I started doing my Uncle Henry TV show in the late 80s, that was my demographic. If you look at the old videos on YouTube, it's a bunch of young freakish. Now, I'm sure that Buford Jr. is not a freak and his friends are not freaks. But there were a lot of young, freakish teenagers that were just, they didn't have any, I guess they needed a male figure in their life. And they saw the old man on television, and they gravitated toward the old man on television as a male figure in their life. So I would be honored to have the listenership of the youngsters, middle school and high school age. In fact, please, Buford, encourage Buford Jr. to hand out the voicemail number to these youngsters. I would be more than glad to address any issue. If they want to call in with any kind of issue, any kind of current event they want me to talk about, that maybe there's things they're concerned about that I'm not talking about, and they'd like to hear me talk about them. 251-216-1976. Please share that with these youngsters. And I will be glad. In fact, I would love to do an entire show where I address the concerns of the youth. I love telling young people what to do. I do. I love telling young people what to do. One of the fun things about being an older person is telling younger people what to do. So please give that number to the young, 251-216-1976. Just tell them to call, and they can suggest topics for the show. They can tell me what their concerns are. I don't know, what are young people concerned about today? Getting a good Wi-Fi signal? I mean, what are they concerned about? 251-216-1976. You know, back when I started in '89 on television, young people were still worried about getting blown up by the Russians with nukes. They were worried that we'd get nuked or something. Because I started before the true fall. Now, the Soviet Empire was in decline, big decline, but it hadn't fallen yet. Until right around that time. It was right around that time that it was all falling apart. So what are they worried about now? Aside from surviving in the economy. 251-216-1976. I would love to hear from the youth and hear what their concerns are, and I would be glad to address whatever they would like addressed on the program. Thank you, Buford, for the voicemail. Well, let's see. Another voicemail has come in. Let me get to this one.
Hello, Uncle Henry. It's the Alabama Bus Hog calling.
Oh, it's been a long time since the Bush Hog called in.
Alabama Bus Hog calling you once again to tell all of your listeners to beware of ticks. You heard me right. Look, if you like to spend time outdoors, hiking, fishing, or camping out, there is a tick out there called the Lone Star tick. And if you get bitten by one of these critters, you could develop alpha-gal syndrome.
Alpha-gal syndrome. I've seen a lot about this lately.
Yeah. It may not kill you, but it'll make you allergic to red meat for the rest of your life. And I'm telling you, think about it. Alpha-gal syndrome. And the Lone Star tick will make you allergic to red meat. And then we're talking about McDonald's. No more McDonald's.
Oh, by the way, I'm pausing here to just say, you, the listener, I know you've probably heard about this, right? Have you seen these people talking about this allergy they develop? Alpha-gal syndrome from these tick bites. Have you seen these? It sounds horrible. It's not just as simple as not eating the red meat. I mean, it can affect a lot of different aspects of your life. They need to work on a cure for that. I'm now very anti-tick.
Talking about McDonald's. No more McDonald's. No more steaks. No more beef brisket. No more spaghetti and meatballs. No more beef ribs. No more beef chips. No more barbecue beef. No more meatloaf. No more beef stew. No more beef stuffed bell pepper.
You know, by the way, Bama Bush Hog, excellent job of outlining many delicious foods. Meatloaf, you just reminded me, I haven't had meatloaf in a while, and that's something I need to rectify.
No more shepherd's pie. Well, you know,
I have had shepherd's pie. The Greer's and Fairhope on a regular basis has shepherd's pie where you can just grab and go. Just go into the deli and grab some shepherd's pie, and it is outstanding.
Pie. Well, you know, it's awful to think about over here, but there's one good saving grace in this whole thing. And I mean, at least maybe this tropical storm Arthur may keep folks out of the woods for a few days, and that could be a good thing. We'll call that a win. Have a great day, Uncle Henry. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Bush Hog, Alabama Bush Hog, thank you for your voicemail. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976. And in addition to the ticks, the Lone Star tick and that special syndrome that can make you sick and make you allergic to meat, there's lots of conspiracy theories revolving around it. And we're at a point now where a few years ago, I would have been annoyed by the conspiracy theory and not even thought about it. But after all that we've gone through in this country in the last numerous years, now I don't know that I believe the conspiracy theories about the ticks, but I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen if there's any evidence out there about was this engineered in some lab somewhere? Is this somebody trying to get us to stop eating the red meat and stop eating meat altogether, or start eating lab-grown meat, stuff like that? It's just, I don't know that I believe it yet, but I'm now willing to listen based on the behaviors of our own government and the authority figures in our country and the way they just beclowned themselves during COVID. All right, going to have to take a brief time out, and then more Uncle Henry Show on the way. Very glad that where I am right now, the rain this is just a very teeny tiny drizzle at this point. Thank the Lord. All right, more Uncle Henry Show coming up after the break here on News Radio 710 WNTM.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
And we have an accident in Mobile, south on I-65 before Moffett Road. Signals are out on Schillinger Road at Ziegler, also Schillinger at Old Shell Road. Also, a tree is down in the roadway Knollwood Drive near Briarfield Lane. And eastbound Causeway is closed at I-10 due to coastal flooding. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Bakke.
All right. Fox 10 has one of their reporter ladies standing in the water so that we can see. It's up to her ankles. Back when I was younger, being a TV reporter looked a lot better than it does now. Back in the day, they'd let you be inside every now and again. But now they want all their reporters to always be outside, reporting live from the parking lot. The weirdest examples I always thought was when I did morning radio and would have the TV on in the studio at 5 o'clock in the morning. They'd have reporters outdoors when it's dark at 5 in the morning, like in front of a government building. You know, what are they doing there? You know, they said that market research showed that people like that viewers like that. And I never did. I always thought, why are they making that reporter stand in front of a government building at 5 in the morning? Couldn't they do that same news report right there indoors? Guess not. All right, let's see. I'm going to look back on the YouTube and see if there's anything I need to address in the YouTube chat. And there we are. Let's see. Ben Griffin, yes. Brendan Kirby, I did see him there on the causeway. Now, see, I wouldn't mind if that were my permanent job, if they set me up with like a little, the equivalent of like a little carport, just a little shelter. I would report from the, see, that's actually where I'd love to do the Uncle Henry Show every afternoon. I would love to do it on the causeway about the midway point. I would love to do the Uncle Henry Show from there every afternoon. I would love for people to just honk. I'd love to have a lot of honking. I think that's good radio, honking. Ben Griffin, I want to apologize to you. I forgot about your meatloaf recipe. See, the last meatloaf recipe, let's see. I tried the Lucy Greer meatloaf recipe, and it was outstanding. And I also tried a stovetop stuffing meatloaf recipe, and it was okay. It was okay. Now, 69-year-old Chris, what about the sideways rain? That would not be fun if I were doing the show on the causeway. So I obviously would only want to do the show on the causeway when it's not raining. I may need to, I'll have to rethink and have an indoors plan for the show. Talk to one of them businesses on the causeway and see if they'd let me come in there. I miss gas stations, having a gas station on the causeway. I miss that. Poor meatloaf. KP bringing up the Singer meatloaf. I say poor meatloaf because I believe he's completely overrated. No offense to fans of meatloaf, but in retrospect, quite overrated.
iHeartRadio station.
Uncle Henry Show, it's 5:50. We have news headlines from Fox News coming up in 10 minutes. And then more Uncle Henry Show. 251-479-2723 is the telephone number, 251-479-2723. Let me go to the Uncle Henry Show voicemail. This voicemail came in the 4 p.m. hour today.
Roll Tide, huh? Well, Uncle, I would imagine after today, since you're getting the extended weekend with the Juneteenth holiday tomorrow.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody.
If I was in your shoes, and I might be making a pretty much accurate prediction or assumption, whatever you want to call it. If I was in your shoes, I would be in that Lazy Boy recliner you have. I believe
Yes.
you have two of them, if I'm not mistaken.
I actually have one now. I have one now. Yes. I have one. Now, the other one's still functional, but I'm having to, I'm now a married man. And a lot of the internal furniture decisions, those decisions have been outsourced to my wife. And so I've got one now. I've got one Lazy Boy recliner now. The other one, I made sure that it was rehomed to a young person. Yes, I found a young person in need of a recliner, and now it is happy. It's got a new home in Midtown.
Kickback, turn on the soccer, and as I mentioned previously, you will be asleep directly. And especially with it raining, just imagine, go ahead and imagine you're in the lazy boy, kicked back, nobody's bothering you. It's raining outside, and you got the soccer match on with the volume muted. You don't need to be hearing it. You could just be looking at it, and directly you'll just doze right on off. All right, Uncle. Let's see what time we're looking at on the clock on the wall. 4:23 and a half. See you here in just a few minutes, buddy. You have a good one.
All right. Thank you very much, 69-year-old Chris. So your advice for somebody that would like to doze off is to kick back in a lazy boy recliner and turn on the FIFA World Cup soccer and just let nature take its course. And that'll knock out a lot of people, American people. World Cup, lazy boy recliner, the soccer hitting your mind and just knock you out. So you, the listener, this might be news you can use as a listener. I mean, maybe is it healthy to be on Ambien? I don't know. I don't want to second guess your doctor. But maybe you could cut your dosage of Ambien down by cranking up that World Cup. Just a thought. 69-year-old Chris has tried it out. He has. 69-year-old Chris has tried it out. You've heard him. All right, let's see. I think I've got time for one more brief voicemail before I go into the next break. Our end of hour break.
Henry, those hair's different. Henry, with the retirement of Darwin Singleton, it got me thinking about the Mobile News greats.
Yes, Darwin Singleton of NBC 15. Darwin now retired. He even got a cover story on the Lagniappe.
News greats. Henry, I do believe we have lost the golden age of Mobile newscasters. Henry, if I could assemble a top-tier news team, I would have Bob Grip and Nancy Pierce in the studio reading us the news. Randy Patrick on sports. Of course, John Ed Thompson with the weather. And Don Singleton as the roving reporter in the street, interviewing Mobilians at gas stations and in the mall parking lot about the goings-ons of the day. Anyway, Henry, with Darwin Singleton's retirement, not many great Mobile newscasters are left working anymore. You have a good day.
Gifford, thank you. Yes, you mentioned some greats. Bob Grip, he's a Hall of Famer. John Ed Thompson. You mentioned Darwin out there as a reporter, who was an outstanding, as you mentioned, as a reporter. I think Mel Showers would be great to co-anchor with Bob Grip. Mel Showers, that would be such a great balance, Bob and Mel. This would be a magnificent balance. But thank you for that voicemail. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. More Uncle Henry Show coming up.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. The building, which houses dozens of House committees and the offices of close to 200 members, is described as a ticking time bomb. Architect of the Capitol, Thomas Austin, tells lawmakers that the 2.4 million square foot Rayburn House office building across the street from the Capitol could be on the verge of a building-wide catastrophic system failure. The building is named after the late House Speaker, Sam Rayburn. Congress never renovated.
YouTube viewers, thank you for watching. I am observing the Juneteenth holiday tomorrow. My company has given me the day off. They've given all of us the day off. And I've learned when you work for corporate America, and they offer you time off, you take it. Thank you for watching. I'll be back Monday at the regular time. Have a pleasant evening and a pleasant Juneteenth.
That took nearly a decade and upended congressional operations. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text PARENT to 323232 to find out more. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook